Hi there and welcome back to Japan, where we're going to be checking out a little bit more of something that is not Japanese. In actuality, as you guys know, we did our World Tour Wednesdays and we're still doing them, although we've had a slight break from them at the moment. But every week, basically on Wednesday, we were checking out music from another country, and Korea was the first one we did, and a big one. We took a lot of the artists from there and kept on listening to them after that World Tour Wednesday, just because, there'd been a lot of feedback in relation to that. And one of the ones that we didn't follow up on for a little while is actually one of the biggest Korean groups, Twice. Now, interestingly enough, Twice are one of those groups who I was not expecting to like, and we've paid more attention to the group Dreamcatcher, who we're going to be coming back to as well, because they've been very different from, if you like, your standard pop fare. But Twice, although they were quite standard in a lot of ways, I really liked the character of what they did. I thought it was quite fun. I felt it didn't have a lot of the slightly negative, over cool image stuff that you get from a lot of the other, I've got to be honest, K-pop groups especially, but mostly those sort of manufactured groups. A lot of them are too cool for school, and it can just get a little bit wearing and annoying just to someone who just wants to see some good fun music and just get a bit of personality from what they listen to. I thought Twice had a little bit more personality in what they did. Now, interesting enough, everywhere I go in Japan at the moment, especially coming up to Halloween, which is coming quite soon, there's Twice branding on a lot of things, like Twice in fancy dress branding for soft drinks and stuff. And obviously, as a girl group, they're involved in a lot of branding, even here in Japan. But again, just seeing all this imagery, I was like, well, the big difference is you see most of those K-pop groups, like there's lots of adverts for groups like BTS, and when you see them, like, BTS tour, it's always like, cool. But when you see the Twice things, they always look like they're just being a bit silly. Now, that could be a manufactured image, but anyway, point is, I just kind of like it. So I was thinking at some point I need to get back to listening to just a little bit of Twice, just to add a bit more to the channel. And then lo and behold, a new song comes out. So I thought, what better time to check it out than now? The new song is called, I believe it's new, like I said, it just came up on my feed and said that it's been uploaded to their channel like a day ago or something. The song is called Fake and True, or Fake or True, or something like that, which is that's a very much a boy band, girl band sort of name for a song, isn't it? Anyway, let's just dive straight in on this, because I've got nothing more to say other than this is a group where, obviously, if you haven't checked out my previous reviews, then go back and check them out. They're all on the channel. You can search them really easy. But I haven't found anything of theirs to be annoying or bad, just sort of varying levels of, this is actually quite refreshing. So here we go. This is their new song, Fake or True, or Fake and True, or something like that. Fake and True, there we go. Interesting choice for that bass. It's kind of a very flowing sort of bass. Very smooth compared to usual. Sorry, my laptop battery was just complaining. I had to switch on. It's very sort of smooth and pacey, and if anything, it's kind of reminding me of like Jamiroquai. A little bit.
Love, life, fun, work 이렇게 하지 매일
That was more flowing than a lot of their rap. When that verse first came in, I thought it was a bit too off on, which is something that is often a problem with their hip hop bits. But it built up nicely. I like this second phase of the chorus. I mean, a lot of the chorus is carried by that instrumental riff, but they've got enough vocal to make it interesting and memorable. So much contemporary pop now is just let the synth do a riff and that's it. We just say one line. But they always have like a couple of phases to their choruses just to mean that it is more musical, it's more sung, that they actually are singing their chorus. This is going to be a ridiculous earworm, isn't it? Alrighty. Yeah. Fake and true. Yeah, okay. As with a lot of these sorts of things, there's a lot to unpack on that, but no doubt you can tell straight from the beginning this is a pop song for pop people. It's not something that's going to convert you over. I mean, one of the things I always say this I love about this channel is we have followers who've joined us from so many different styles. We hit on everything from metal all the way up to pop, hip hop, the lot. We do it all. And because I just love music in all of its forms. And so this one, though, you can tell this is very much in the pop corner. It's not going to win you over if you're not already a pop fan, although credit if you've listened all the way through. So let's have a little talk about what is good and what could be better on this one. But first of all, can I just say I really enjoyed that. Although, like I say, I know it's not going to appeal to everyone. It's a fantastic earworm, and I love the way it moves. It's really, really smooth, bounces along with a fantastic pace. I'm really interested. One thing I want to say first of all, because obviously with Japanese songs, a lot of the time I can pick up a little bit of the words, and if I go back and analyse it later, I can sort of understand the lyrics with a sort of slow translation. With Korean, it's more difficult for me. Obviously this song would have been written originally from a Korean standpoint, and I like I said, I don't know what they're getting at with the lyrics. That's the main thing. But it is interesting when you hear any sort of large produced famous pop group doing a song which says fake and true. It sounds like that's something where you could get a lot from that. So if anyone really understands what the lyrics are for this, tell me, and just tell me how well written they are, what the message is. I'd really love to hear that translated properly by someone who understands how to do this sort of thing better than I do. But the thing is, though, is that I hope there's a good message behind this, because otherwise it's just a sort of thin and catchy earworm song. But on that level, at very least, it really does work. And the reason it works is kind of, like I say, a lot of the reasons that make this work are things that we've heard before, but again, exercised very well here. I mean, they do have really great writers for this group. Wait a second, I need some water. No editing on this channel. You guys should know that by now. We've been around for long enough. So, what the things that we've heard before that work in this is that idea of having a chorus that's very much based around having like an instrumental lick, an instrumental riff. Now this has become increasingly common in modern contemporary sort of pop music, and with a lot of, in the worst examples, which unfortunately as usual with pop, the worst examples tend to be the more common examples, it is really, really bad. And that can be something where you just have, they sing, and then there's just like an EDM riff, and the idea is that really all the singing, all the verses and everything was just to build you up to some sort of drop where you just basically go into, hey, we wanted to do EDM anyway because EDM works. EDM, making people dance to a riff and a beat, is really easy. So instead of writing a chorus, that's what we did. Like I said, when we're talking about Perfume, who are obviously, if you don't know, they're a Japanese pop group who we've been following a lot on the channel as well. Their best material, they can have fantastic hooks. In their worst material, which sometimes is some of the more recent stuff, they rely on that sort of thing. They'll sing, drop, break down, another riff. So with this one, you had that thing going on during the chorus, which is obviously, that was like the heart of the instrumental. That was your riff. but the vocals were there. It starts, first of all, when they do the fake and true thing, it's just them singing one line and the riff. That's your modern, contemporary, slightly boring chorus. But then they have a second phase to the chorus, what some people might call a post-chorus, where they build on that, where the actual vocal melody comes in and sort of builds that up. I do get the feeling with these guys that they do sort of... with whoever's doing the writing of the songs, I mean, I would imagine a lot of these groups, you hear a lot from the fans that usually the groups are involved in the writing. I wouldn't be surprised if they have some say involved in their writing. Sorry, just adjusting myself there. I wouldn't be surprised if they have some say in their writing, but I would imagine they have got some very good writers who are making sure that they are releasing the correct stuff to keep them high in the charts. And whoever's writing these, I think they're balancing fantastically on that line between... keeping this as a more musical pop group and keeping that sort of contemporary minimalized style of pop that is so popular right now. I mean, let's face it, if you're going to be pop, you have to do what's popular. And so I do like the fact that they managed to throw in those little bits which are kind of just dancey, which would throw off a lot of non-pop fans who just go, oh God, there's nothing going on here. But then they also managed to have like a proper sung melodic hook in there as well, an actual chorus bit to it. The verse parts were really nice as well. I mean, like I said, the song musically doesn't vary too much throughout. It keeps on going with that sort of smooth, chugging along pop sort of... It's funky, but it's smooth at the same time. It has just enough punch to make it hit, but at the same time, it's sort of everything sort of bouncing along, no sort of huge impact moments. It, like I said, this might remind me of something like Jamiroquai. It's got that sort of driving smoothness, if you will. The verses had some great bits in it. I love some of the little breakdowns in there, although, like I say, it's all sort of around the same musical theme. Each of the singers, as usual, gets to deliver their own bit really well. I did like the fact that the hip hop bit, the rap, seems to be broken up between a couple of girls, which I've noticed. I think they did that on Breakthrough as well, between the same two members. Now, I do enjoy rap. I do enjoy hip hop. I know some of the people on the channel don't so much, but I really enjoy that. And so when I hear groups like girl groups and boy groups do it, I know half of the time you're not expecting like top level hip hop. You're not expecting like the greatest use of the beat ever, but it's a break in the song. So you just expect them to use it like a half decent way. It's kind of like if you hear a guitar solo in a pop song. If you hear a guitar solo in a pop song, no one's going to say, oh, that was not the greatest shredding ever. They'll just go, okay, was that a functional, was that a useful guitar solo that worked? And I go, yeah, okay, so it works in this context. So, when I hear this, I think, it first came in, it did that thing that I don't so much like when Twice do this with their rap, which is when they fall into doing trap. So instead of it having a flow, it goes da 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 da. No, I can't stand that. It's like flow. And so when this rap bridge first came in, I thought, this is going in the bad direction. But then it sort of built up, and if you start with a sort of stabby rap and then you build it into flowing properly, that's great. And I think it was around about the time that it became a 2-member rap. Again, unfortunately, when they did the rap, it wasn't it wasn't easy enough to pick apart the voices of the 2 members to really tell who was doing which lines. But that bit did work as it built up. So overall, the whole thing, I did think it had enough attention to detail. I guess that's the thing, isn't it? It had the simplicity, again, to make it work as a pop song, but it had enough attention to detail to make it come across as something more rounded, more honed, more interesting than it otherwise could have been. And the bottom line is, really, I think when we talk about these songs, the bottom line is, does it have a catchy enough hook? Because, want it to be an earworm. Yeah, that was a really hooky one, actually. Surprisingly, for quite a minimalist hook, really catches on. I thought that was a really good hook. So no surprises there. And is it just a hook with bits in between just to filler, just to get you through to each hook? Or do the bits in between have their own identity? Does the song have personality when it's not just driving itself into your brain? And I would say in this case, yeah, I think that the verses were nice. They weren't, nothing that's going to change the world or, rewrite the formula of pop in any way, but they worked. So yeah, good functional pop song. It's certainly not going to be legendary, but I think it shows that these guys keep on popping out really, really effective pop. The stuff they do just kind of works. So yeah, anyway, thank you so much for tuning in as always. And as always on this channel, you can find in the description below links to all our social media and stuff. It's all about the conversation. That's why we are one of those channels who I give my informed opinion as someone who's worked with music about how music works and what I think, and subjective and objective. But get in there in the comments, tell me what I might have misinterpreted. Tell me about the lyrics if you understand the lyrics this better than I could. Tell me about anything that you think is relevant and give your counter opinion. If you agree. If you disagree. You can like and press the thumbs up. If you want to press thumbs down, you can, but only if you get in there and comment. Subscribe if you want to. Get on our other social medias if you want to maybe give us suggestions. On our Reddit, you can get on there and suggest new songs for me to listen to. But either way, thank you so much for tuning in today. Really appreciate you sitting here and listening to me waffle. And for now, ciao, ciao.